Mere law.
It's going down, you know what I'm saying? We in Houston, it's about to go down, free meet and greet, pull up. I'm gonna do like 3 cities in like 2 days. 3 cities in like 2 days. All right, I'm not gonna tell y'all when, just know it's coming. Nobody can outwork me, ain't nobody did this shit before. Like this shit is another level. And I'm doing this shit for multiple reasons. So I can make sure I can reach a lot of people, right? But also show my work ethic and let these other business owners and entrepreneurs know in this space that they can't fuck with me, all right? Let me just walk around so people see me. Recognize my face. Yeah, bro. That's why I'm like, let me go walk around and shit. And you know what I mean? Okay. We're in Houston right now. It's about to be lit the entire weekend. Having a good time. People showed up, you know what I mean? It's last minute, but still, people still showed up. I'm gonna come back to Houston before the end of the year. I'm gonna let y'all know way ahead of time. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna give y'all a heads up. I'm gonna do like 3 cities in like 2 days. 3 cities in like 2 days. All right. I'm not gonna tell y'all when, but just know it's coming. Nobody can outwork me. Ain't nobody that did this shit before. Like this shit is another level. And I'm doing this shit for multiple reasons. So I can make sure I can reach a lot of people, right? But also show my work ethic and let these other business owners and entrepreneurs know in this space that they can't fuck with me, all right? Now, I'm gonna do 3 cities in like 2 days, 48 hours. Follow me.
Statements of counsel or in brief or in an argument are not.
This is the difference between somebody just talking about some shit versus actually going through something. Somebody that's talking about some shit is gonna tell you, hey, go do this. Yeah. When somebody's going through it, they're gonna be like, hey, listen, yeah, you need to go through this, but this is what's gonna happen while you're going through this. That's what matters. That's the difference between all of us and everybody else.
I talked to Oliver. He told me how to go about this ticket, because at the beginning I was just about to join the academy and on my way back from, because I live an hour north in Huntsville. So I was coming back home and I got pulled over. And I didn't even have my passport. All I had was my driver's license, and the first thing that came to mind is like, when he showed up on the other window, he said, you know, I said, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Yeah. His face changed and he said, oh, all right. The judge is well versed on that. So he went back to his car, brought a ticket. I asked him, do I need to sign? So if you don't sign, I gotta take it with me and whatnot for the speeding, and the car was not registered and whatnot. So I signed whatever came to mind. I put 1-308, no contract, under duress, and I put my signature, and he started complaining. Says, is that your signature? Yes, it is. But then when I went to court, I bring in, I think it was a couple of days before the court day, I brought in a notice of special visitation and plea and abatement. They did nothing. They took me to a separate room. And
a separate room?
Yeah, not a courtroom.
Like a private room?
Yeah. So there were like 4 or 5 people there, and so I kind of got it in my mind what Oliver told me. You just tell them, you know, I am the beneficiary of these charging instruments, and I want to assign them to you. And all. By this, after I said it the second time, there was a lady that went like, like shut up.
Police
And then I
officer,
started.
Police officer?
No. She was. Later on the trial day, I learned that she was a secretary from someone there. That's what she said.
Right, prosecutor.
But then, as I was saying it the third time, there was a female police officer that came from the back, and I'm like, okay, I'm not saying anything else.
She looking out for you though?
Huh?
She looking out.
I was sitting there, and she was standing, and so they didn't let me finish the third time. So the other lady said, okay, I'm gonna give you a trial of 6, and I said, no 6, it has to be 12. You know how it goes. Well, it's gonna be 6, so, and then make sure that these are my peers.
That's why I say that's the most important thing. I don't care if it's 6 or 12, honestly. Just make sure they're private Americans.
But in my mind, I'm really new to this, and then in the back of my head, I still have my legal background for what I was using the legal mind.
Oh, you got a legal background too?
SPC.
Well, I'm an interpreter, so I've been an interpreter for 20 years.
Okay, so you picked up on things.
So I had to train for legal interpreting and medical interpreting, plus my own divorce case. And
do you teach people?
I used to teach how to interpret, but I could, depends. So anyhow, so trying to put that away and learn from the beginning equity. So I had that in my mind, and I said, well, it has to be 12. And she said, well, it's gonna be 6. And I said, well, make sure they are my peers. She says, yeah, they're all members of the community. So make sure they're all private Americans.
Right.
I said, I don't know anything about that. So they gave me a paperwork, and I say, sign here. So I got a scratch that I'm not pleading anything and whatnot. I have it all here. And so they gave me a date to come back to the jury trial. There were 24 there. So I figured, okay, I'll get my 12. So now you get to pick 3 and she gets to pick 3. And I'm like, so I told, the first thing I said, what am I doing here? Because I've been in court before, but I didn't know how to move. So I look at the judge, I look at the members that they were being chosen, and I said, hello everyone, thank you for being here. Please raise your hand if you are a U.S. citizen. And everybody went like that. I said, Your Honor, none of these are my peers. Well, you get to, so they were being nice.
So I'm gonna tell you, so that was great. That was amazing. So I'm gonna tell you to be even to take it a step further. Don't say when you say that, say how many of you are district citizens, aka U.S. citizens. Okay.
Oh.
That's what you want to say, because the average person doesn't know district citizens, right? They know U.S. citizens,
yes.
But the judge knows
What's the difference?
district citizens. And when you say district citizens, then he knows that you're competent and you've been studying. Because nobody knows about district citizens.
What's the difference?
He knew.
Or is it the same
There is
thing?
no difference.
Okay.
That's the point.
So
But
just
you've
always
never heard
say-
of district citizens.
Okay.
Is
That's
it
the
DC?
cover. A U.S. citizen, that's the cover. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That's the cover. But truthfully, if you believe that you're just a U.S. citizen, then you default to being a citizen of the District of Columbia, which is not a state within the meaning of the Constitution.
Right.
So then, if it's not a state within the meaning of the Constitution, then what is it? It's a foreign enclave. That means it's a foreign interest. It's not under the Constitution.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then what does that mean about your citizenship? What does that mean about you being a U.S. citizen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why you want to be a state national, and so that's why you want to say it like that. But that was. I'm of the mindset that you're not going to respect anything I'm talking. Now I get it. Y'all see me with wins in the lower courts.
I've been at this for a long time, but that doesn't. And just keep it all the way real. I'm just showing y'all the wins that I've gotten in the lower court. That don't mean I ain't never lost in the lower court, because I have, and I tell y'all that. But the point is, like, I'm not going into these lower courts expecting to win. I'm going into the lower courts. My main mission is to, hey, I need to get all the equity that I know on the record, and that's preserving my interests. So if you're not respecting it, I don't care, because I'm really just waiting for this to be over so I can go to appeals. And then if appeals is stripping, then I'm going to a higher court. Like that, like work the entire court system, because like that's what lawyers gonna do against you.
So if it doesn't work at a small court, go to a higher court.
You don't belong in the lower courts. They cannot see your rights. You just get pulled into that because of the nature of the system.
Yeah, my boyfriend got a DUI in a small town, and he didn't get pulled over. He was already on the side of the road grabbing, using the bathroom, but they didn't see that or anything. And they just pulled up on him while he was getting back into his car, and they charged.
They was watching him and waiting.
I'm not sure if they were.
No, I'm sure they were.
Yeah, but
I'm sure they were.
But they arrested him for DUI, even though he had like one beer, like one drink, and then ate an hour beforehand and was driving back. And so he went to court and did all the steps that you told him to do. And because of that, they just kind of like made him feel little and small in court. They were rude to him. They even put him in handcuffs. They were talking down to him, thinking like, oh, you think you're so smart, but you're not, and this and that. And they ended up like convicting him and everything. And he's been trying to get it appealed to a higher court so he can go through a higher court, and they're not sending the paperwork up.
It's probably, so it's not about them sending the paperwork up, it's about him filing it in appeals court. They're not going to do that. Yeah, he has to do that. And then he just has to figure out, it could be some defects in his paperwork too. I don't know how much experience he has, but yeah, he has to file the trial de novo, like you were saying, in appeals court. Yeah, that's what he needs to, that's what I would do.
That would be,
so he needs to file it himself, not,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that works.
that appeals court, would it be circuit court?
No, it's appeals court.
It's appeals court?
You go file in circuit court if you're trying to do your, if you want to become plaintiff and you want to file a complaint.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people get confused when you say appeal, and then they go appeal to maybe the district court or something like that, and then they be like, hey, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work. So
That too. It's just,
I ain't talking about the U.S. district.
There was someone in the group in Houston, I forgot.
No, it was the intention of the man is a change of venue to a court of record. And to basically like to common law.
So in my bill of exceptions that I filed, they denied, they had
Bill of exception, you filed it on record?
Yeah.
That doesn't go on the record. That goes to the judge's chambers.
Okay, so that I messed that up too. On there, I had stated how they didn't accept any legal tender under $50, and I tried to give them a $21 money order, and they denied it. So I had these other, like, I even signed a ticket without recourse, and so I had these other things that I was gonna say that they didn't give me the chance to say. And when they took me in, when I went to go get fingerprinted, because one of the other things that I put on there, I don't know how, this isn't something that you teach, but I had put in there, I looked up the court, the address of the court, and I looked up the DUNS number, okay? And I got all of the different DUNS numbers that came up to prove that they're a for-profit corporation. So when I did that,
sandwich.
that's what I was trying to do. That's what I was trying to do.
Listen, I know all this shit out here.
So when I've
been in this game a long
I went to jail, and because they locked me up for those tickets, inside where it said the reason for me being there was declaration of war.
They said what?
The charges for me being there said declaration of war. It didn't say for warrants. So the other officer went and he erased it and he put in warrants. But I had seen that whenever he was fingerprinting me upstairs. And I was only in there. The tickets costed $2,100, and the ticket that I was in court for was supposed to be around $400 if I lost the case. But I was in and out in 12 hours, so to me it worked out. Trading with the enemy.
I mean, depending on what you do and your paperwork, I mean, shit.
I figured because I challenged them.
That's how you go.
It's almost like the executor, right?
Executive.
I mean, I think that's a prime example why I just be like, yo, don't be doing the other shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because like I tell people, and it's not to say you can't get wins.
Right.
UCC and consumer law, different depending on what it is.
Right.
So it's not to say you can't get wins, but risk, a whole lot more risk comes with doing that shit. Right. There is no risk with the way we do things.
Correct.
The only risk that you have with doing the way that I do things is you've already got yourself into some shit to where you're already risking jail. Right. That's the only risk there is. You already into some shit that can get you jail, and so you're trying to get up out of it. But in terms of doing what I educate you, nothing that I educate you and tell you is going to land you in jail because you did it. Whereas like a UCC lien or just some sovereign citizen shit where you just, I done sent 50 documents, you know what I mean, all some sovereign, like that's the type of shit that gets you locked up, you know what I mean?
Come and get that.
Nothing that I say to, and I stand on this all day, every day, 100%. Right hand of God. Nothing that I say to you, if you execute it, will land you in jail. Right. If you land in jail, it's because whatever you did, you was already headed to jail, and you could not save yourself. Right. I stand on that all day long, 100%. Right hand of God.
So is that a violation of my due process rights because they didn't give me the ability to have that trial, even though it's a jury trial?
Yeah, jury trial and of your peers. Yeah, it's a violation of civilian due process. Listen, every case that you get is a violation of civilian due process.
Right.
And I will tell y'all, if there was, I don't be saying this, but if there was one way to beat every court case, it would be a violation of civilian due process.
You say that on the videos.
Yeah.
I might say that on one video.
Yeah.
I don't say it a lot.
Say everything.
I might say it on one video probably.
I'll be listening to everything.
Yeah.
Didn't you say before that you were okay with?
Remember that right now, however, whatever, right? You need to go back over that so that you can pick it apart and be like, okay, he said promissory note here. Well, in this paragraph, these words, that refers to the promissory note. So now you can know when you're reading shit, okay, they said this instrument, they said this and that. They talking about promissory notes. Now your brain is going to reference, okay, you don't necessarily have to say promissory notes. When you're talking to a mirror, you can say, hey, this security or, retired securities or, like you can say the more proper term in law versus just saying some shit that's in layman's terms. Right. Because the more and more that we get bigger as a community and shit, the more and more challenging it's just going to be, unfortunately.
When you do it the promissory note, when I signed it, I gave it substance. You need to apply it to the principle.
Right. And continue to build up vocabulary.
Which I didn't do that to the bank. They like, get your ass out of here. Told me don't come back. Closed all my accounts. Said fuck you. Took my truck. And now, but I got an unjust enrichment on their ass because the formality they use. And now that's what I'm addressing now because I didn't have the necessary tools to finish up what the fuck I started. So when I started, I opened up a can of whoop ass. But then again, I went in and I told them there's no such thing as a loan. Y'all can't perfect it. It's not a perfected loan. Y'all go through the processes, but y'all can't fit it because y'all won't get your money on the second day in. Now, I don't mind you making money off me, but beeline my interest. Now, when I told them that shit, they told me to get out their bank. They say don't come back to me. I said, why? I said, I contracted with y'all. So now y'all kick me out y'all stuff. I said, that's fine. Do as you must. Keep all your instruments. I'll be back. What exactly I told them.
That's been competent.
You know what I'm saying? And now I'm going to come back and I'm writing my paperwork. The CEO, the CFO, the ones that I spoke to specifically, because they returned a promissory note to me. They returned all my instruments to me. And I got them. That's the only thing they didn't steal from me, but those are...
They returned all your instruments to you? Mm-hmm. What did it look like on the face of it? Do they have any like weird mark on it?
I don't know. I have to look at that because I got
crossed out?
No. But I know
I
know they monetize and securitize off of that because
what I'm telling you though is go and evaluate them again and see if there's any weird mark on it, everything crossed out, anything like that. Because they could have possibly gave you the securities and now you just need to liquidate it. But I don't know.
Well, I did a promise, man.
Cause like when I get securities, I'm not one to sit up here and say like just every court case I get securities or nothing like that. But I've gotten them a few times. And yeah, we liquidate them, but you know because you get a packet in the mail and like shit's crossed out or the shit's different. Like,
yeah, they send me everything back.
When you get the packet, you be like, why the hell I get this packet? That'd be the first thing that you think. Like, what is this? Why they send me all these documents? I don't know what to do with it. Why it got this weird ass mark on it? Like, what? Like, why'd y'all even send me this shit? Like, why y'all do this? That's securities. You need to continue to go forward.